What's going on, buddy? How you doing?
Hello.
Oh, we back.
Yeah,
I was
let's go.
for everybody who is just now have the pleasure of tuning in, I was just giving Matt a foot show because I was fixing a cable underneath my desk and just dangling the foot up on camera.
We've got
It was interesting.
YouTube. We've got every platform that you could want to watch your podcast. But now I think we might just start an OnlyFans.
Oh, look at that. Hey, let's sell foot content. Why not? I feel like it's probably
Welcome to our foot podcast.
it's just talking feet. That's all we do. Just put our legs up in the air and still talk. Just put your mic under the desk and let's make it happen. So yeah, that's fun. This is off the rails already, and we're just starting.
I'm disturbed.
He's disturbed. Well, welcome in, everybody. We're excited to have you here with us today. Lots going on in the world of gaming, and there have been a couple announcements in the last week. I think just preview into what we're going to go over today. COD, big updates coming. Vanguard, Warzone.
We don't talk about COD enough. Like they just
keep pumping out content.
Bunch of content at us.
Warzone Season 2.
What other choice do we have but to talk about it?
Warzone Season 2 is on its way. February 14th, Valentine's Day. So I think they'll probably have record low numbers for people who are playing it that evening, because a lot of people are going to be out with their significant other. Or maybe we'll schedule some Galentine's Day nights with our friends on Warzone. Have you heard that, Galentine's Day?
What's the guy version of that?
I mean, guy starts with a G. I don't know. I know that's like the female moniker of it, but
yeah, what?
Yeah, I got no idea. I got nothing.
Bros like Valentine's?
I hate that. No.
Brolentines?
No. We're just gonna stop this conversation now. So yeah, numbers probably gonna be pretty low for that, but
was that designed? We'll talk about it more in a little bit.
I mean, you have to know that February 14th is Valentine's Day, but they probably just don't care. Interestingly enough, they are adding in within Vanguard only, I think. They're putting a game mode in specifically for Valentine's Day. And if you load up with somebody else in your party, you get double XP. So it's make yourself a date on Call of Duty and get the benefits of double XP, which is dumb.
A little bourbon, couple boys, a little COD. I don't know.
I'm going to Duck Duck Goat with Christy, so I will not be on Call of Duty that night. It's a nice restaurant in Chicago. We made reservations for that, so that's going to be fun. Neither of us have ever been there. It's like a very nice Chinese restaurant that's in the West Loop in Chicago, so it should be a fun time. But yeah, lots coming up there. A couple announcements just on the headline side. Let's just dive right into this. The big news coming today was that FaZe Clan has officially partnered with the NFL. They've done stuff with them in the past. They did a merchandise line with the NFL, so they've had a relationship there, but they officially announced a partnership today. And it's ahead of obviously the Super Bowl this weekend on Sunday. And the whole partnership is essentially it's like a media PR stunt related to the Super Bowl. So what they're doing is creating a flag football game with a lot of FaZe Clan creators, and it's going to be in LA ahead of the Super Bowl at the whole Super Bowl festivities over the weekend. So that should be pretty cool. I think this is really interesting. So for people who don't know, my previous job, I no longer work there. It was with an NFL team. I won't specify which one. Use your context clues. You can figure it out. So I'm very informed about this space, and I know sports partnerships. Just coming recently out of the NFL world, I know gaming has been a very big priority for the league. A lot of teams are now starting to tap into that as well. So to see that this is happening at the league level is really interesting, and hopefully soon enough, teams will actually start being able to sign some of these deals as well. Typically, how it works in the partnership space, at least with the NFL, is that the league likes to hold some of these categories hostage. So, like for example, the league is allowed to monetize on Twitch, and they can create partnerships around Twitch and doing things on the platform. They do not allow teams to do that. So they kind of hold the right to do it on their own and test the waters. And then once they figure out a way that it works, then they allow their teams to do it. So kind of interesting, but because obviously that's all related, love seeing that this is happening at the league level. It's obviously huge for gaming because, I mean, it's the Super Bowl. It's a lot of people like to call it an American holiday. And when have we ever seen a gaming brand this involved within the Super Bowl? I know last year, was it last year or was it the year before that Rockstar had Nade shot in their Super Bowl commercial? I can't remember. Do you remember?
No. But you know, my first thought, like before you even finish that, I'm thinking about like if you're not watching right now, if you're not paying attention, there's so much transition and so much momentum going toward gaming being so heavily involved. Like we've talked about it so much about like the industry continuing to grow.
Mhm.
Like I mean, having this FaZe Clan partnership be with the NFL, not just an individual team that's at the league level. That's partnering my two favorite things is sports and gaming. So
Yep.
that, and then like you think about like Halo dropped that you know, like they're going to be creating the TV series,
Mhm.
and they announced that, what was that, last week?
It was officially announced, I think, last month. But last week was the drop
The
of
trailer.
the official trailer for the series.
Yeah.
So I mean,
If
that's
you're not
just
watching.
it is very obvious to recognize that gaming is coming into the entertainment sector, just very mainstream entertainment now. You look at, like you said, the Olympics is, I've seen commercials with games involved. A lot of talk about the athletes who are very big into video games. Obviously, Olympics very prominent right now as those are going on. The Halo trailer was released at halftime of, what was it, the AFC Championship game. So I mean, that's Paramount Plus. Obviously, they have big relationship with the NFL, with CBS, with their broadcast rights. So CBS really positioning a game with a lot of eyes on it to promote Halo, which is obviously going to be a huge TV series for gamers and Halo fans alike. And now this, we've got, like I mentioned, FaZe has done similar things with the NFL. Nothing really official. I mean, the NFL was very involved. They did a merch line. I think that was in 2019. I can't exactly remember. But, you know, I think this is exciting. It's huge that it's happening for the Super Bowl in and of itself. I mean, the Super Bowl is the holy grail of the NFL. It is all eyes on us. I mean, brands are spending millions of dollars just to have the right to create a 30-second spot or a 60-second spot to be a part of that Super Bowl broadcast. So for them to be able to sign a partnership and have all of these eyeballs on them is huge. And it's one of the reasons why FaZe is now the only public gaming organization. I mean, the business moves that they're making are huge, and I think 100 Thieves is very close behind them in just the way that they're thinking about growth and not just being a gaming organization, and really trying to be a larger media lifestyle gaming brand.
Yes. You know, another thing that I was thinking about is just something I've cited, because, like, you know, like, we're watching this, I mean, and we've lived this too, but like we're watching the stereotype of people that are gamers change, because you think about like gamers, like, you know, my parents' generation just thought of them as like the nerds, you know, just like the nerds, the outcast, you know, and that's fine, and I'm okay with that. But it's so much more than that now, and it's so mainstream, and like the world is embracing that. Like when you see sports Like that's another big facet of my life is sports. When you're seeing like the NFL take that over, one of the stats that I told my dad, did you? I don't know if you knew this, and I'll have to pull up the actual stat again, but I believe I'm like 95% sure the League of Legends tournament. I don't know what was it last year was more viewed than the Super Bowl in the same year. Look it up.
League of Legends is massive. And a lot of people
Dude.
don't realize how big of a game it is because it's not as big as it is in the US as it is in other countries. I mean, you look at in Asia, in Asia they have gaming arenas. In the US, a lot of people think that's unheard of. Now they do exist. I think there's one I believe in Texas. And I think it's NRG now who owns it. Don't quote me on that. I could be wrong. But they're much more relevant, and there are more of them in Asia. And League of Legends is huge there. I mean, you just look at some of the LCS teams. They have a North America division, and then they have the World division. So it is a very much worldly game that is not just the focus of the US. And you think about like the Call of Duty League, it's all teams within, I'll say North America, because you think about, you got Toronto Ultra in there, but I guess you pull in the Royal Ravens and the Paris Legion. So I am wrong there, actually. But, the vast majority of those teams are domestic here in the US. And I think at least the ones who are, I want to be careful with how I say this, have the larger following are US based.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, hold on. We're going to pause.
Why are you pausing?
I'm going to mute because you can hear my dishwasher in the background. Give me a second.
Oh, all right. Well, while he's figuring out his audio issue, I'm just going to pull up here real quick. This is just the press release on FaZe's website. You also didn't mute yourself. Good job.
Okay, well, that's all good. Give me 5 seconds.
So this is just the press release on FaZe's website that I've got pulled up here. And it's pretty damn cool what they have built out and prepared for this. So they're going to be putting on a flag football tournament, and some of the guys who are, from the NFL side, Brett Favre and Michael Vick are going to be the quarterbacks for the game. But it shows down here just some of the people who are going to be involved. Kyle Brandt, who's the host of Good Morning Football, if you've ever seen that on the NFL Network, he's going to be hosting the entire game. It'll be a part of the Super Bowl experience. And you've got like FaZe Ruggs going to be there, destroying, who, if you've never seen him, he look him up on Twitter, because he's an awesome follow, because he's a kicker and he just does like these crazy kicks that he lined, like trick kicks essentially. And he's awesome. I've gone down a destroying rabbit hole a few times, and it's always entertaining. He's a big personality. But there's going to be a ton of people included within this. You got FaZe Swag, you got Nate Hill, you get Temper and Adapt, and all those guys will be there. But I think the big thing of this is the caliber of guys that the NFL can pull into this as well. And it would be really interesting to see if there are going to be any current players involved with this. I know Kyler Murray obviously has a huge tie with FaZe Clan, because they essentially drafted him when they did their NFL draft PR stunt. So Kyler Murray technically is a part of FaZe, which I think is really cool. So being able to tie him into this somehow would be awesome.
I'm just thinking of the sports, the crossover between NFL players and gamers, because there's like Nate Hill. He's a streamer, isn't he? He's pretty well followed.
Oh yeah. Nate Hill's a big Fortnite guy.
Like a lot of those guys, there's a lot of like NFL pros that also play, and even if it's even casually, like there's plenty of them that would be available for a crossover like that.
Yeah, 100%. I agree. So this is obviously huge news just for the gaming industry. I think it's really cool to bring this to light with such a large platform like the Super Bowl, and just being a part and having that partnership with the NFL. Next headline I wanted to touch on today. Big kind of, well, I guess it is technically big news in the streaming world. Pokimane, who she's the largest followed streamer or female streamer on Twitch. Her contract ended with Twitch, I think a week ago. So she just came out and said, hey, I'm going to make an announcement for what my streaming platform is going to be moving forward. And that happened today. So she, instead of, I'm sure you've seen some of the videos that Tim obviously put out a big video when he announced that he's switching to YouTube. And who I'm thinking of, I'm blanking on his name.
Courage?
No. Why can't, oh my God, this is going to bother me because it's on the tip of my tongue and
Turtle.
I can't. What?
Who now I'm blanking. Who does Nick play with all the time? They make fun of him. They call him the turtle.
Cloaksy?
Cloaksy, yeah.
No. It's not.
Not Courage, Cloaksy, Symphony.
No. Oh my God, I should know this. Hold on, I'm just looking it up right now because it's really bothering me. But while I'm looking it up, I'll continue. So she essentially, instead of just like putting out a video and all this, some of the people who have done this have like, okay, it's either blue or not blue or purple or red. And one of them he was in a red car, and so he was in a red car and just like driving around, and then there was a purple car and all this. So essentially, this is a very long-winded version or story of me saying that instead of like driving around in a car or doing something with a video, she's just giving away a car. So she said, oh yeah, by the way, I'm staying on Twitch, and instead of putting a car in my video, I'm just going to give one away. So she's giving a Tesla to one of her followers, which is pretty fucking cool if you ask me.
Give it to us. I'll do the podcast while in the car. I'll do it.
I think you should do it. I think it's very dangerous to try and do that.
Hey, autopilot, you know?
This is absolutely just destroying my head right now that I'm completely blanking on his name.
Here's the deal. Welcome to Knowing Kevin 101, is that he will not stop.
Yeah, it's going to bother me, but I need to let it go right now.
If you don't figure it out before the show ends, you're going to go look after the show.
Oh yeah, I am. Someone's going to blast me in the comments, but that's fine. So I'm going to pull this up and I will show our video viewers, but she's giving away a Tesla. One Tesla.
I would like.
And it's, hey, by the way, twitch.tv/Pokimane. Not bad for a little PR stunt there. I like the way
Pretty
she rolls.
neat.
That's kind of cool. But
54,000 likes on the tweet.
Yeah, why not? I mean, you give away a car. That's just instant engagement right there. But what's interesting about this is that after she had announced that she was going to be making a platform announcement, Twitch announced that they're hosting what's called Twitch Game Plan, and it's essentially an experience that they're putting on. It's like an online training thing, and it's more of like here, learn the Twitch audience. You'll get this little certificate for participating, all that, blah, blah, blah. You'll notice right here that Pokimane is right in the header image, and it says that there's an exclusive interview with our most followed female streamer, Pokimane, and randomly Mike Shinoda from Linkin Park. I don't know where that came from.
Okay.
But yeah, Mike Shinoda is going to be talking. And this was released at least a week ago. So Twitch just decided that, hey, we're going to put this out and completely screw with Pokimane's platform announcement and just let the cat out of the bag and let everybody know that Pokimane is staying on Twitch because she's talking at Twitch Game Plan. Yeah. Talk about a buzzkill. So everybody knew it was
cute.
coming. Twitch just kind of ruined it. But hey, that's all right. She's giving away a car, which is pretty cool.
And she probably got plenty of engagement from her stuff anyway, so.
Oh yeah, I mean, give away a car, like I said, that's just instant engagement.
Mm-hmm.
Last thing before we dive into Call of Duty,
Yes.
Halo esports. So the HCS, they have, I think it's HCS Anaheim this coming weekend. And the final of that on Sunday. If you're watching, you can get some cool drops and on Twitch. So twitch.tv/Halo/HCS or /Xbox. I've got it up on screen here. You get a cool BR skin, a pistol skin, or an AR skin. So check that out. I just figured this is kind of cool. Little PSA for all of our friends. Go get some cool free stuff just by watching. All you have to do is just make sure that your accounts are linked, and that's pretty easy. Actually, with Twitch, all you have to do is just click the drops button, and you can go redeem it online. YouTube is where you have to have your links or your accounts linked. So it's even easier on Twitch, which is cool.
Big fan.
Okay, let's dive into Call of Duty here, because we've got, like we already mentioned, on the 14th coming up, we've got the release of Vanguard and Warzone Pacific Season 2. So there's a lot of changes coming, and I want to talk through them.
A lot.
But first, I want to hear some of your opinions on how you think Season 1 went, and, you know, what changes you want to see made after experiencing Season 1, and if there's anything not in the Season 2 rundown that you still want to see, and what those are.
You know, I think it says enough for me, even though my life has gotten busier, just a lot of things going on. I also want to still be the voice of our casual gamer too, because, you know, I'm not playing 8 hours a day and streaming, you know. So I think my thoughts are pretty well aligned with, like, I think a way that a lot of people might feel. I think I haven't had that itch to want to play. The only thing that the itch that I've wanted to actually play is Rebirth, which is really weird.
You can see, if you're watching on YouTube, you can see this big smile on my face, because this man has been against Rebirth Island for so long.
It's not that I was against it.
No,
it's just I
you can't say it.
Verdansk.
No,
I enjoyed Verdansk that much more. I get a much bigger satisfaction from winning a game on a 150 person drop into Verdansk.
I don't believe you. You hated Rebirth, and you refused to play it, and now we've got you hooked.
It's not that I don't know if I'd say I'm hooked, but I like it. I mean, but the only thing is, like, I just don't. I don't know. I don't have this itch to play Caldera. I guess, and like, so Season 1. So we'll talk more about Season 2 and some of the changes that are coming, and I think it kind of addresses some of the things that I'm thinking about. But I get the idea of where they made a lot of the POIs on the outside of the map and trying to I don't really understand necessarily with the circles closing how it made a whole lot of sense to make a lot of the center the dead areas.
Yeah.
Just a lot of running, a lot of open space, and then like a lot of foliage. But I don't know. I guess my thought is, like, Caldera, it's been okay to play. I mean, we really haven't spent that much time on it, to be honest.
I will say I've spent more time on Rebirth Island than I have in Caldera.
Yeah. Well, and that's the point that I'm trying to make, is that, like, I feel, and I think a lot of people feel like Rebirth is more worth their time right now. So, what do you think?
I think there's a lot that they could change. And I agree with you in that I'm more interested in playing Rebirth right now, but I will say that I do, even if I'm just like, I've got a minute or a few minutes to just knock out a couple games, then I'll go on, I'll start with the game of Rebirth. You know, if I'm not feeling it, I'll do Caldera. I will say I am more open to playing solos on Caldera than I was in Verdansk. I think in Verdansk, because it's so building heavy, that it was just solos was the rattiest game mode ever because it's just all campers and it was just an awful experience. Versus Caldera, it is more of that open space, albeit there's a ton of foliage and some of the sight lines and all of that is even harder. But just having less buildings and less places to camp in makes solos a lot easier.
Yeah.
Or I won't say easier, but a hell of a lot less frustrating. Because there's nothing worse than, you're grabbing a bounty and you're moving as fast as you can through however many buildings, and you turn a corner and there's a kid sitting there with a rose skin or whatever skin and you're dead. And there's nothing you can do about it. It's infuriating. I mean, I can't tell you how many times I've told you that I can't stand playing solos because it's just so ratty. Where I will say I've had a better experience on Caldera with solos, and I've enjoyed that more. Let's go through the roadmap here, though, because I think there are a lot of changes that are coming that I don't necessarily think people were asking for, but what these changes actually remind me of, it's almost turning Warzone, at least the play style, into more of an Apex, just with some of the additions that they're making, and I'll tell you why I feel that as we go through this. Okay. But it's interesting to see some of the changes that are coming, and you know what? I'm just gonna pull up. Do it. We're gonna get this rolling right here with the roadmap. So you see in Warzone, right on the left side, there's a new POI in Chemical Factory and Research Labs, and those are so in the article that I had sent you. I think there's 7 research labs underground scattered around the map, and from what the Charlie Intel article said, I believe each of those bunkers is like circled on your TAC map. Don't quote me on that. I could be wrong. We'll obviously find out on the 14th, but that's what the article made it seem like. And then Chemical Factory is in between mines and the harbor, so it's on that north kind of west area of the map. And I think there's a lot of potential with the new POI, but they're very much taking the chemical warfare route, with it obviously being a chemical factory. But I don't know. 2 new POIs, I mean, that's pretty typical. I guess you can't really consider Research Labs as a new POI, just because they're expanding on some of the existing, I guess, bunkers, as we would traditionally call them on the map. Yeah. So it's interesting. Rebirth Reinforced is, we don't know what that is yet, but it's nice to see that there's Rebirth content, and I think Call of Duty has very much...
with your winners, Kevin. Win with your winners, and that's driving people into their game. You need to be continuing to make that better.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think they've really picked up on that because there hasn't been a ton of changes to Rebirth. And now that it's become such a more popular thing that people are interested in it. And one thing that I'm very excited about, which you'll see down below in the new modes, is Rebirth Island Iron Trials.
Yes, I saw that too. Yep. Well, now, okay, remind me, because now I'm forgetting. Like, I remember enjoying Iron Trials, but I can't remember. Did everyone have the same loadout, or what was different about it?
No, so you jump in and you get a Magnum and a sledgehammer, and there's less cash on the ground, and everything at the buy station is more expensive. So a loadout is, instead of $10,000, it's $15,000. You don't get a free loadout, so that loadout after the first zone does not drop. The ground loot is better. The base ground loot is better.
Yeah.
But the gold weapons are more scarce. So
I like that.
Pretty much, like, if you pick up a green weapon, the base weapon, the gray one, will have an attachment, but typically I think like 9 times out of 10, that's just the full size mag on the gun. So you get all your bullets. But other attachments, you're not really getting those. So really the way that Call of Duty has explained Iron Trials is that they want you to continue to loot as you're going because they're not giving you as much cash and you really do have to save up for the loadout. On top of that, there's some, the biggest thing is that you have more base health. So it's not your 100 base health. I think it's 250 is your base health. So it takes a lot more to kill you and to kill enemies, which gives you time to actually react to getting shot at. So many times, if somebody's got a shot lined up on you, you're dead because the reaction time, it's just the time to kill is insane. Yeah. So Iron Trials really did fix that. And that's what a lot of people think because it raises that skill gap because it gives you time to get behind cover, reapply your plates, and then you can go in and actually engage in that gunfight and you have a chance. So Iron Trials to me was a huge success and I wish they had brought it back more often. But it's awesome to see this coming to Rebirth because with this being such a popular game mode now and Iron Trials, at least in my opinion, being the most successful game mode, at least limited time mode that they had in the history of Warzone, I think this is a great thing that's coming. The only bad thing about it is that it's in season and it's not going to be on the 14th. So we have to wait probably like halfway through the season for the mid-season update for this to actually happen.
Teasing us.
Yeah. So one of the other things that I did read is that I don't believe you're going to be able to use Vanguard guns or Modern Warfare guns. I think you have to use Cold War guns in Iron Trials Rebirth. So that's interesting. A lot of people are very reliant on the Vanguard guns right now, and that's just what they want to use. So you may not really be interested in playing it because it's the Cold War gun. So, I mean, it's, I don't know, personal preference. I have no problem with it. I've been dabbling in some of the Cold War guns, which we talked about last week.
Kevin, you're not like most people. You have upgraded almost all of your weapons. You got all your attachments.
So? Yeah. Hey, that's what happens when you have COVID over Christmas for 2 years in a row.
It's true. It's true.
Caldera Crash is another new game mode that's coming. From what I read, this is essentially a big team deathmatch. It's like 48 v 48, I think were the exact numbers that they gave or something. It's like a 50 v 50 team deathmatch on Caldera. So it's essentially you get points for your team for each kill that you get. And then once you hit the certain threshold, that team wins. So you spawn in right away with your guns. So that could honestly be a great way for you to start leveling up the new guns that are coming out, which jumping ahead a little bit. There's a new AR, which is the KGM40. And then there is a new SMG, or no, sorry, that's not the SMG. There's a new LMG, is the Whitley. So the Whitley, from what I read, it's described as like a very heavy duty gun, but it's supposed to shoot pretty straight. We'll see. Honestly, LMGs are pretty hit or miss. I would imagine that this AR is probably going to be pretty competitive. I think I can't remember the exact way that they had described it, but it was like it's
they make them OP at first.
Yeah, and I think they said it's steady and reliable or something is the way that it was described. So like if you're going to come out right away and describe it as that, it's going to be a high performer. So I would imagine that KGM40 is going to be a heavy hitter. And then there is an SMG coming later on with the mid-season update. That's not on this document, but you can find that and go in. That'll be unlockable through the normal gun challenges that they always come out with to unlock new guns. Or you can get a bundle within the store to unlock a blueprint for it. So typical ways to unlock guns. And then there's an ice axe, which is actually kind of interesting because it's the traditional melee weapon, but it's similar to the ballistic knife where you can throw it, but it's an axe. So I just thought that was kind of cool. I never really care about the melee weapons. I don't use them. I never try to unlock them. They're just kind of there. They always come out with a cool one. I don't even bother.
Yeah, same. Very much same.
Okay, there is a new vehicle within Warzone in the bomber. It's a new plane that seats 4 people, and from what I've read, it's an air-to-ground attack vehicle. And what's interesting about it is that it will destroy a loadout drop. So if you're flying around and you see red smoke on the ground, you can.
If I get bombed, I'm gonna lose it.
You're gonna get bombed. So welcome to the Warzone season 2.
I wonder how loud their audio is. Remember how loud the audio was originally?
Oh gosh, yeah. We'll see what happens with that. May have to adjust the audio settings a little bit for a little while. But and what's interesting about this one too is that it can seat 4 people, so you can fit your whole squad in the plane and reposition around the map. So that's cool. But they have said that the plane, both bomber and the fighter plane, the HP of those vehicles are going to be decreased. So they're going to be easier to shoot down, which is good because a lot of people complained that in the Vanguard Royale mode that planes were way too overpowered, and I do agree with that. And they've been nerfed a couple times now. So I think just because of that, people are obviously already going to be skeptical about how this new plane functions within the game. So we'll see. I will note that this is only going to be in the Vanguard Royale mode and not in normal Warzone, similar to how the planes already function. One thing they're adding. So this is kind of where you can make some Apex comparisons here. The redeploy balloon is coming. I'm very interested in this because I don't know exactly.
Normal Warzone?
Yes. And I don't know exactly how it's obtained. So I don't know if you buy it through the buy station, if you find it in a chest similar to like Plunder where you get those money drop bags. It's coming. I don't know if they're existing or if you actually have to deploy them. But we'll find out. I think it's interesting because they can be shot down. It's just a blimp that goes up. The blimp is visible on your mini map, so you can see them around the map if there's one up in the air. And it essentially just takes you all the way up. You get off of it and you parachute down to wherever you need to. It's essentially like getting back up in the plane and pulling your chute. So it's similar to the balloons that are in Apex in a way for you to move around the map quickly.
That's silly.
But okay. I'm kind of actually excited about these because it just adds a different play style or a different element into the game.
I'm kind of wondering if that's sort of to combat all that dead space that I was talking about, because you get so much dead space in the middle of the map. They're like, we got to find some more movement because you don't really have you got vehicles, but like little limited with vehicles. It'd be probably more efficient if you had a balloon.
A lot of people complain about having to always run around. So this is I would definitely say a good way to combat that. I did also read that I mentioned before that they can get shot down. Apparently, if you spend, I don't know how much, the article said a couple $100. So if you spend a couple $100, you can then refill it and get it back up in the air. So you can repair them after they've been shot down, but we don't know how long that's going to take, all of that. So we'll see. I'm interested. They have my attention on that. That's for sure. I'm going to skip over this one for right now because I'm sticking with the Apex comparisons here. There is a portable decontamination station, PDS for short. Terrible name, honestly. Awful.
Okay.
But it's essentially a heat shield because the gas.
Apex.
Yes. It functions like a heat shield. So I'm going to say these in conjunction here because along with the PDS, there's Nebula ammo. It's Nebula V. I just automatically say that as Nebula 5. I'm assuming it's Nebula 5, but who knows? So there's the Nebula 5 ammo and a kill streak. I don't think it's V. And so essentially the Nebula ammo and the kill streak. The kill streak is a bomb that once you set it, you like drop it down in front of you like it's search and destroy, and you activate it, and then it blows up. It has a bunch of explosive damage, and then it creates a ring of gas similar to the gas that closes in on you, and it'll pop up as they detonate across the map. Little rings of gas will pop up on your mini map. So that's interesting. It does.
So you can see where people deploy these.
Yep, you can.
Interesting.
Yeah, you'll be able to see it. But it's essentially, I think it said 2 minutes worth of gas within a safe zone. And if you're near it, it functions exactly the same. If you have a gas mask, you'll be fine through it. All of that. You just have to be aware that you're going to get the explosive damage if you're close to it when it goes off. So to combat that.
Wait. I'm confused. Is it to combat the gas, or is it the opposite?
Oh, you're not letting me finish.
In the circle. Okay.
So to combat that, before you so rudely interrupted me, there is the portable decontamination station. So you put that on the ground, and that's your heat shield, and it'll give you a safe zone within the gas that you're in. And those can be destroyed. I don't know exactly how long it takes for them to go off on their own. But that you can put that down anywhere. So you can go into the storm, into the gas that's the normal circle, and throw one of those down, and you're good for a short amount of time. Or if you're in one of these nebula zones, drop that on the ground and you're good. So little bit of a adjustment to the play style. I'm interested to see how it changes things up. And it feels like Apex, at least with these two changes. Just
it does.
It adds a layer of Apex is a little bit more strategic on how you're moving around and, going into the storm on purpose because you have a heat shield, and maneuvering around a mountain or a cliff or something, like repositioning within the storm and using all of that material to your advantage, I think is huge. And it's not something that Warzone players have really had. So I'm excited for this and to see how it changes things.
Definitely changed the play style. I mean, and like you think about anybody that's competitive playing Warzone, like they adjust their play style accordingly and actually use that competitive play. So that's very interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just like Apex too. Like, Apex has this whole different element of like fantasy with the abilities and things like that. But like taking the movement pieces is certainly possible for Call of Duty to recreate. So
yeah. Oh, 100%. And then I did mention there's the Nebula ammo. So the kill streak is that bomb that I was talking about. But you can equip ammo, and it essentially gives you a full clip. So it's like stopping power and how it works. But it doesn't give you any additional damage. So it does nothing to your bullets when you're shooting them. What it does is right after you've downed someone, that person who you downed will start emitting gas, and it works like the storm. So like if you have, which is really interesting. When I initially saw this, I responded to the tweet and I said, it's the anti-camper ammo, because if you've got a team of 4 in a small building, you down one of those guys and they're in the gas. So that I think adds another layer here. So that I'm also excited about, because if you save that and use that strategically, you can really use that to your advantage. So I'm excited to see some of the just ridiculous plays that come just because of that ammo.
Can you imagine loading a full clip of a sniper of a car and then like downing 2 guys in a building of 4 and they're all in the gas?
Here's the kicker. Imagine you down somebody with your incendiary ammo, but on top of that, because if I'm correct, I don't think this is an ammo that you equip on your gun. This is an ammo that works similar to stopping power. So you pick it up on the ground and you use your incendiary ammo with the nebula ammo.
They're burning and emitting gas.
And you stack that. You kill them with the fire, and then as they're downed, the fire's still hurting them while you're then while they're emitting gas, hurting the teammates around them and themselves.
That's hilarious, and what an insult to injury.
Yeah, it's a fuck you to the campers, that's for sure, and I'm here for it. I love it. Okay, the last Warzone piece, at least on this graphic here, is this armored transport vehicle, which I'm not excited about. This, I don't like this one. So think of the train in Verdansk, but add in the fact that this will shoot at you if you come within a certain proximity to it, and you can fire at it and you can blow it up. But when its health gets low, it calls in airstrikes at you.
Are you kidding me?
No, I think this is a terrible addition.
Is this in actual Warzone too?
I don't know if this is just Vanguard Royale or if it's in Warzone. It's just under the whole Warzone umbrella on this graphic.
Why are they always going to do a couple things good, tank it with something terrible?
I will say most of the stuff on this is good, but the armored transport, this is Krampus level. Why are you doing this? Because
why are they just trying to piss people off? Krampus just like annoyed the hell out of everybody.
Krampus was terrible. But if the truck drives around the map on a predetermined path, so you know where it's going, you can stay away from it. It's not just going to appear like Krampus did.
Krampus.
But if you get within a certain proximity, there's miniguns on the damn thing, and it'll start shooting at you.
What realistic scenario does this make any sense? As part of the storyline or anything?
I don't know. So there's that. You can destroy it. You can destroy it, which I think is good. I don't know. I'm assuming it's going to take forever to actually destroy. But once it gets to low health, it calls in airstrikes on you, and who knows how that's going to work. That'll be interesting if it's just like one strike right in front of it, or
is it like, is there a human in there?
No, it's a bot. No, it's a bot, and it just calls it in.
I mean, but like in the game, is there going to be a driver?
Oh, probably not. No, I bet it's just the vehicle. There wasn't a driver in the train in Verdansk. It's just going to be a free-for-all. No, it doesn't. So the way that they're tying this in, though, is that it's the chemical transport vehicle. So if you destroy it, you get a lot of high-tier loot, which I think is good. You should after that.
That makes sense.
But there's a slim chance that it drops one of the Nebula kill streaks. So essentially the gas bomb that you can put wherever you want. So it's like a bomb transport, essentially, is how they're tying this into the story. And I think it's so dumb. I'm not excited for this piece of it.
They've kind of made a decent enough role, though. But still.
It's
what do you do? People are gonna drop in at a certain POI and like go try to kill the transport.
It's not gonna be good. So there's a lot of changes coming, and I gotta just shout out real quick. Matt's in the chat right now. Our friend Stat Matt. So what's up, brother?
Boy.
But the changes, at least in total, I would say are coming are good. I'm really excited for Rebirth Island Iron Trials. That's going to be a lot of fun. The only downside to that, it's going to be duos only. So if we got 3 or 4 of us who want to play together, that's not happening. If we're going to be doing Iron Trials, but it's going to be a fun time with that game mode. I'm really excited about it. We just don't have a date yet. Everything else that we talked about that we didn't mention is going to be in season is happening on February 14th. But everything else in season, we don't have a date yet. So stay tuned for all of that. Call of Duty will obviously be tweeting all about it. We'll be retweeting it, and we'll be talking about it on Twitter. So make sure you're following us at the Joystick Pod on Twitter. And we're making some moves here. We're excited about the upcoming Warzone Season 2.
I'll do it. I'll play it. That's fine.
Early access. Get him in. Why not?
Armored transport vehicle? I'll come check it out. They just reel me back in, maybe some dumb stuff. Krampus at least got me in the door. I played it, and I played it more than probably I wanted to be honest.
What's after all of this comes out, what's going to be really, at least I'm interested to see, this is going to be our question down below for this episode, is what's going to be worse, the armored vehicle or Krampus?
That's a great poll question. I'm still going to go with Krampus.
I agree with you,
Krampus
actually.
Comes to where you are.
It does. I think because he'll just show up. He
hunted you when he wasn't hunting you. He would just show up and I don't know if it was a bug, but it just start coming after you. And it did. You're like, there's no Krampus timer. Like, he's not even after me.
No, Krampus got how many of us killed so many times because it's just the freaking sounds that it would make that everybody on the map could hear. It's like, oh, Krampus is over there. There's a team over there. And they just go and kill them because
here's some jingle bells.
Yeah, they're worried about the jingle bells coming after them. I remember there was a game we were playing and we were on top of the roof of one of the buildings at Airfield, and Krampus just kept appearing for 3 full minutes. Meanwhile, I was getting hunted like a bounty, and I had a squad coming after me and Krampus, and I'm just booking it. I was like, what is going on? This is not fun. Not fun. So at least you can stay away from the armored vehicle. But yeah, that's not a great addition in my mind.
3 straight minutes of Krampus. If the armored vehicle's in the final circle, that's going to cause a lot of funny clips.
We'll definitely see clips about that on social. If we come across anything, we'll for sure tweet it out. But it's going to be interesting to see late game if that comes into play. I would hope that Call of Duty doesn't do that, but you never know with some of the bugs that's in this game.
Oh, yeah, they still haven't fixed all the original bugs. So Here we go.
So we're going to hope and pray and keep our fingers crossed that a lot of updates are coming with this Season 2 that fixes some of the issues that were with Season 1. Obviously, we've talked through everything here for Season 2 and the roadmap. There's more coming with multiplayer, with zombies, new operators. We touched on the weapons. So keep an eye out for all of that happening next week. But we're excited. We'll be talking about it. We'll be playing it, and we'll follow up on this for the next episode. But for the time being, we're going to cut this short. We're going to end things here. Thank you guys all for joining us. If you've watched us here on YouTube, really appreciate everybody jumping in chat and jumping in the stream to watch us. If you're watching this afterwards, make sure you vote down below for what's going to be worse, Krampus or the armored vehicle coming with Season 2. Time will tell, but I'm sure everybody's got an opinion, so we want to hear it. Make sure you like the stream, subscribe to the channel, and follow us over on Twitter at the Joystick Pod. And thank you very much for tuning in. We'll talk to you guys later.
We love y'all. See you soon.